Hello and welcome to the Old City Podcast. With me, your host, Rob Autry. This is episode number 2, and they're just hopefully going to keep on going. That's the plan. If you're looking for me on social media, you can find my personal page on Facebook under Rob Autry. You can also find me on Facebook under Old City Vapors. On YouTube, if you want to watch the paranormal videos or any other rambling videos that I do, look on YouTube under Old City Vapors. The same with Instagram, Old City Vapors or Old City Podcast. It now has a page on Instagram. The podcast can be found on iTunes, Spreaker, Google Play Music, Podbean, Stitcher. There's a bunch of different places you can find the podcast. So if you like it, share it, rate it, pass it on to your friends, and that'll help me get more listeners and inspire me to keep on going. So let's jump into it with some weird news from around the globe and around Florida. I could start out with, this is a strange and interesting one. You might find funny. I kind of did. South Florida woman passes gas and pulls a knife on the offended man. Yep, good old Florida, right? A South Florida woman faces aggravated assault charge after authorities say she passed gas in line at a Dania Beach dollar store and pulled a knife on a man who complained about it. I mean, hey, didn't like my fart, I'm going to gut you. Citing a Broward County Sheriff's Office report, the Miami Herald reports 37-year-old Shanetta Yvette Wilson passed gas while waiting in line at the Dollar General store Sunday night and upset a nearby customer. The report says the offended customer and Wilson got into an argument in reference to the defendant farting loudly. If it was me and somebody in front of me farted loudly, I would be like, oh, why allow me to retort? And I would have farted back at him. It says Wilson then pulled a small folding knife out of her purse and told the victim she was going to gut him while moving towards him as if to attack him. She ended up walking away from the area, but was found by deputies a short time later, the report said. Hey, are you the one that farted loudly and pulled the knife? I could see it now. Wilson was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without the intent to kill, and she was booked into the county jail. It's unclear if she has a lawyer. Okay, she was booked without the intent to kill. I'm pretty sure if you gut someone and their guts spill out onto the floor of the Dollar General, your chances of survival are looking a little slim. So, there you go. Just a fair warning, if you're in the ghetto at the dollar store, hey, not judging. I shop at the dollar store. I'm in there almost every day because it's just around the corner from my house, which is located sort of in the ghetto. But if somebody farts in front of you loudly, I don't know. You may want to think of your response. You may want to just join in with a little chorus, just sing along. Anyways. Here, bringing it back to St. Augustine. Bringing it back to the good old hometown of St. Augustine. Last episode, I told you about the guy that broke into the alligator farm, crawled into the alligator pit, and got bit by a Nile crocodile. Well, his mother has made a statement. Florida man in crocodile pit could lose foot. Blames drugs for the incident. Hey, gotta blame something. That's the way of the world nowadays, right? It's the drugs. It's not that I did the drugs. It's the drugs themselves. Must have been a bad batch. The mother of the man accused of jumping into a crocodile pit at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm defended her 23-year-old son on Monday. The St. Johns County Sheriff's deputies say Brandon Hatfield was bitten by a crocodile after breaking into the tourist attraction and jumping into the exhibit. Hey, go figure. Sometimes that kind of shit happens, I guess. The incident was captured on surveillance cameras. I would love to see that, up close and personal. Thank God for y'all covering the story, Hatfield's mom said. If not, we'd have never found out. Really? Yeah, communicate with your son a little bit. It's Christmas. Hey, why are you hobbling around? Kicked a curb. Or bit by a crocodile. Hatfield said her son did break into the farm while he was high. And he ended up in the crocodile pit. It was an accident. He was trying to get out, she said. He didn't know he was on the roof and fell in. Really. Security cameras captured a crocodile biting her son. Hatfield said the foot might have to be amputated if doctors can't get control of the infection. She said her son's mistake is due to a lack of resources for those struggling with drug addiction. When asked, again, got to blame it on somebody. When asked what she hoped for the future would look like for her son, Hatfield said, for Brandon, to get help with his drug rehab. Now, I'm not making fun of Brandon's drug problem. You know, it happens. I get it. I understand it. But what I don't understand is how high do you have to be of all the places in St. Augustine here to break into? Why are you going to go break into a freaking alligator park with hundreds and hundreds of alligators, which have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of big teeth, and they could all kill you in the dark while you're high? How high do you have to be for that? I don't know. Maybe should have thought about breaking into like the Fountain of Youth and, you know, they just got chased by some peacocks or something. Anyways, I don't know. Good thing, hope the dude doesn't lose his foot. Hey, if you listen, since you're here in St. Augustine, give me an email. Let me hear your side of the story. Like I say, I'm not judging. I just read it here. I'm reading it for everybody else. It was in the paper. So there you go. There you have it. Moving on down to Tampa. Down and over to Tampa from here. Tampa death metal rocker had flamethrowers. Warned of the rapture. Said aliens were landing. Patrick O'Brien, the lead guitarist for the death metal band Cannibal Corpse, called relatives warning about the rapture and that aliens had landed before his weapon-filled rental burned down December 10th in Northdale. According to the search warrant, the 53-year-old O'Brien was arrested after incident. Hours before his Northdale rental went up in flames, investigators say Patrick O'Brien, lead guitarist for the death metal band Cannibal Corpse, called relatives, told them about the rapture and the aliens. The next day after the fire subsided, the fire marshals found a large cache of weapons, locked safes, potential explosive devices, inside his 53-year-old, inside the 53-year-old's home. O'Brien rented at 16311 Northwood Drive, in case y'all want to go by there. Yeah. The stash included about 50 shotguns, including one with a barrel illegally sawed off about a half an inch past the stock. Or, well, actually, about 1 inch past the stock. Let's not exaggerate, right? 10 semi-automatic rifles, including a couple of AK-47 variants, 2 Uzi-style rifles, 20 handguns, and 3 skulls, according to a search warrant. Wait a minute. Did they say 3 skulls? Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Authorities even found a couple of flamethrowers, according to the warrant. One was inside the house, one was outside of it. The warrant reveals the backdrop to the chaos of that December 10th night when the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said O'Brien broke into a neighbor's house, then charged the deputy with a knife before he was repeatedly stunned with a taser, then arrested. Then his home caught on fire. Man, it's just not a good night for O'Brien. He's getting tased. His house is burning down. And, you know, just saying, too, if you have to be tased repeatedly, you might be a little, just say a little high. I don't know. Rounding out what investigators say they seized from inside the charred home were thousands of rounds of ammunition stored in boxes, military-style metal cans, and even ammunition belts. Several other weapons and weapons parts and 3 skulls were found. There, they slipped it in again, 3 skulls. Local authorities called in federal agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives to help with the investigation. With the exception of the sawed-off shotgun, it's not illegal to possess such weapons here in Florida, but the warrant does not say whether O'Brien had the proper paperwork for his stash of guns and ammunition. So yeah, like they said there, that's true. I don't have a problem with O'Brien or anybody having a huge stash of guns. I have guns. My neighbors have guns. Most of the people here in Florida have guns. We're all redneck toting gun owners. It's how you store your guns, and if you're responsible with your guns, is what matters. Let's see. O'Brien's arrest report details how the chaos started. He entered a home in the 4700 block of the Windflower Hose Circle just before 7 p.m. O'Brien didn't know anyone at the home and didn't have permission to be there. So why was he there? Was he looking for another skull? The report said, but when two residents inside the home asked him to leave, he ignored them, shouted that the rapture is coming. Then he pushed a woman down in the home to the ground and ran into the backyard. The rapture's coming. Everybody hit the deck. The couple called 911 or 911, and when deputies arrived, they found O'Brien hiding behind a fence near the backyard, because he was hiding from the aliens. Or maybe that dude's that was hunting him because he pushed his wife down. A deputy reported O'Brien giving him multiple commands to surrender before he lunged at the deputy with a knife. O'Brien was stunned several times with an electroshock device, then handcuffed. Then flames were spotted at his house. O'Brien was booked into the Hillsborough County Jail, and charges of aggravated assault on a law officer and burglary of an occupied dwelling with assault. When he made his first appearance in court in front of the judge on December 11th, he was ordered to undergo drug and alcohol evaluation before he was released. Dude was probably still high as a kite when he was in court. That condition was removed on December 12th, records show. Then on Friday, he was freed after posting a $50,000 bail. O'Brien did not return calls for comment, and his mother, Nancy O'Brien, declined to comment as well. Just in case you're wondering, Cannibal Corpse was formed in 1988 in Buffalo, New York, and launched their career with an album recorded at Morris Sound Studios in Temple Terrace. The band's released 14 albums, according to its websites, with song titles such as Bloodstained Cement and Ice Pick Lobotomy. Well, I got no problem with Cannibal Corpse's music. I listen to hardcore music all the time, whatever, What I do have a problem with is breaking into your neighbor's house and shoving them down for no apparent reason, telling them that the rapture is coming and aliens have landed, and who knows? Maybe that's true. Maybe O'Brien's onto something. He just went about it the completely wrong way. And he assaulted the cop with a knife. I find that kind of funny, as he had a house full of weapons, but he brought a knife to a gunfight. That's something you never do. Anyway, probably a good thing he didn't have a gun, or he'd probably be dead now, because they would have shot his ass. So it's unknown if Cannibal Corpse, they're touted to be on Slayer's final tour, opening up for the band Slayer. And who knows if O'Brien's going to be in the band or playing, or if the band will even be there now that he stepped in this bag of mud. They're supposed to stop at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater in Tampa on May 10th. So, time will tell. Will the aliens come get him? Will the rapture happen by then? Will alligators bite him on the anus and drag him into a wormhole? Who knows? I'm just speculating at this point. Okay, so here's one more news article, and I'm going to play this, let you hear it first. Let's see if this actually works here. Take a second to cue it up, and okay, away we go. One more time. There you go. That, ladies and gentlemen, was what I'm getting ready to talk about. Known by the pseudonym Paul Flart, he's a security guard in a Florida hospital. He saw a video of his farts go viral in 2018. And yes, that's what you just heard, was a actual Paul Flart fart. Flart, real name Doug, last name unknown, spent much of his job sitting in the lobby, which he noticed had good acoustics. He was paying attention. This inspired him to create an Instagram account to document his farts for about 6 months. After someone uploaded a compilation of Paul Flart's farts to YouTube, the video went viral. Unfortunately, Paul Flart's boss was less than amused and fired him for his actions. Flart live streamed his firing on Instagram. He wasn't fired for the fart videos exactly. The issue was he was uploading content on a client's property while wearing his official uniform. Yeah, the video that I just played for you, I was watching it. You guys can't see it, but yep, he was sitting there in his security uniform, farting, recording it, and putting it on Instagram. Despite the setback, Flart is optimistic about his future. He plans to keep making fart videos using his pseudonym name, Paul Flart, hoping the gimmick could turn into a sustainable social media career. Hey, give the guy credit. He's a farting entrepreneur. Well, there you go. There you have it. And here's one more of Paul Flart's farts just for the road. Okay, let's move on to something else. Shadow people. Have you ever seen a shadow person, a shadow being, or something like that? Have you ever just been sitting there, reading a book, doing whatever, and you catch something out of the corner of your eye? You think you see something moving, shadowy thing moving. You go back to reading or watching your movie, and then a few moments later you see the same thing. You spin your head around, and you could have swore you just saw a shadowy person or figure dart around the corner or something like that. If so, you might have experienced what's known as a shadow figure or shadow people. I know I have. I'll tell you a little bit about my experiences in just a minute. Shadow people, shadow figures, shadow beings, many theories and definitions, but it's commonly described as the perception of a shadow or a tall figure, most of the time 6, 7, 8 feet in height, human-like form. But from a scientific point of view, they say it's just simply your imagination, where your mind fills in the blank spaces to create a humanoid form. Most of the people that experience this phenomenon say they see shadow figures. They're used to seeing them out of the corner of their eyes, and they disappear as they look straight into them. But more and more people have also experienced looking straight at them, and some have even witnessed seeing eyes, usually red or green in color. And sometimes the shadow's wearing a hat. Fashionable shadow people wearing a hat, and they call them hat men. From different religious points of view, they call these dark, shadowy figures different names, such as demons in the Christian faith, jinn in Islamic faith, and skilly in the tradition of American Indians. What do you call them? What do you think they are? Many types of shadow figures are studied and under paranormal research. There's different kinds, different ones, and the first one is a human-shaped shadow person. Like I say, the name says it all. It's a human shape, most commonly experienced by most people is a human-shaped shadow. And sometimes it'll have a hat, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll have eyes, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll be hooded. They usually seem to be male in appearance. They can be like a transparent, dark, black, staticky looking shadow. Again, human-shaped. Like I say, some have eyes, some have hats. The second type is an animal-shaped shadow figure. Their human-shaped shadows are common, but more and more people are reporting seeing animal-shaped shadows. And I have experience in that as well. A lot of times people will say they're black, like a black mist or a black mass of a shadow resembling a person. Have you seen anything like that? What do you think it is? Do you think it's just your imagination, or are you actually seeing something? There again, there's forest shadow people. If you've ever been out in the woods, which again I have, and felt like something was following you, and then you see that dark figure off in the distance. A lot of times it'll just be standing there staring at you. What is it? I don't know. Some people theorize that those figures are aliens, time travelers, or astral travelers, or interdimensional beings. Who knows? I know I've seen my share. One theory suggests that these dark beings are a form of evil spirits or ghosts. Some believe it's true, and others argue that the appearance of dark figures contradicts the ghost phenomenon, so these can't be ghosts. I don't know. I can tell you my own experiences. I have one, the first one, of several. I have one on video where I was sitting here right where I'm doing this podcast from. There's a window in back of me with shades on it. It was nighttime, no lights outside, only one little light on in the room, and I didn't know it, but the person that was doing the show with me noticed a big black shadow move across the blinds in back of me. And like I say, it's on video. There's no denying it. Nothing in the room moving around at the time, so who knows what it was. We've been sitting in the house here before and watching a movie, reading a book, doing whatever, cruising the internet. Next thing you know, you look up and there's a shadow person looming in the hallway. You go to make visual contact, whew, it disappears. Who knows? What do you think it is? And we've had the same thing with like an animal type shadow that comes running through the room, goes from one end of the house to the other, runs in the bedroom. Woken up, seen shadow people standing in the door of the closet. You ever had anything like that? I'm kind of used to it, so it doesn't totally freak me out. But at the same time, there is that little bit of freak out. Some people report laying in bed and seeing shadow people, which, again, I've done this myself. But some people that suffer from sleep paralysis, many of them claim that they see a shadow person. Sometimes they feel that shadow person sitting on their chest or whatever. They're unable to move their body. Has anything like that happened to you? I know it has for me. Shh, don't tell anyone. I don't know. I can tell you one experience. I was in a graveyard one night doing a little ghost box session with two of my other friends. And we're just hanging out and talking to the ghost box. I noticed that the other two had gotten really quiet. And about that time, I was getting ready to say something, and I looked up, and my one friend is like, Rob, as she's tapping me on the shoulder. I look up, and what's in front of me is a tall, black, shadowy figure walking directly towards us. And I have to say, it was a little freaky. I thought it was a person. Here we are in a graveyard at night. And I thought, oh, no, here comes some crackhead. I have a Surefire flashlight in my pocket. I pull it out, shine the flashlight at it because I was expecting to be confronted at any second by this thing. I hit it with the flashlight, and you guessed it, absolutely nothing there. I saw it. The other two people that were with me saw it. We all described seeing the exact same thing. We waited a few minutes, and lo and behold, here it is again. Not in the exact same spot, but close to the same spot. Looked like it was just standing there watching us. I tried to video it with my video camera, and it didn't work. It was just pitch black. You can't really see anything. You can hear our reactions to it, but you can't really see anything. And, I would put money on it that it was a person, a very tall, dark person standing there looking at us. Once again, pulled out my flashlight, hit it, and this time it darted to the right. If like we were looking at it, it took off to the right. And as it took off, there was some palmetto bushes and some other things there, and the leaves actually moved where this thing took off from. So who knows? Was it a shadow person? Was it a keeper of the graveyard checking us out, trying to make us leave? I have no idea, but it did freak me out. Another story. I've covered this one in one of my earlier videos on YouTube, and this one kind of crosses the boundary of shadow person or shadow animal. At the St. Augustine Lighthouse, one morning, about 3:30 a.m., doing a ghost box session, and sit in my truck. This is in another video that's on my YouTube channel under Old City Vapors. I was just doing a ghost box. You can see me in the video doing the ghost box, listening to it, not freaked out at all. I'm quite well used to doing this stuff. Sitting in my truck by myself, and a few strange things start coming out of the ghost box. And all of a sudden, in front of me, I see this big, black, shadowy thing, like, dart in front of my truck. And I'm thinking, what the hell was that? It was way too big to be a dog. It looked more like a big person or a bear or something of that nature. And once I saw that, it pretty much gave me the creeps. Because after I saw that, I don't know if it was my imagination or what, playing tricks on me, but I started seeing shadow figures everywhere. And in the video, if you watch the video, I try to remain pretty calm on the outside looking. On the inside, I was thinking, I'm ready to get the hell out of here because this is freaking me out. So who knows? Was it a shadow person? Was it a shadow animal? All I know is about a week later, I was describing it to one of my friends here in town. Her name's Heather. She runs a ghost tour called the Haunted Travelers Co. And I was describing what I had seen. And she's like, wait a minute. She pulls a picture up. She goes, did it look like this? I looked at it, and yes, it looked exactly like that. And what she has a picture of is she is calling the ghost bear. And that's what it looked like, is a bear. Pretty much to a T. So I guess that would fall under the animal shadow characteristics. I don't know. Can you protect yourself against these shadowy figures? I don't know. Some people, they say, yeah, you can. You can say prayers to gods or angels, whichever you like. You can do meditation every day to help develop your spiritual power. You can learn psychic defense. Some people use crystals, which I have a bunch of crystals. I keep several crystals on me or nearby. Usually if I go out on a ghost adventure, I usually have a crystal of some sort in my pocket. One being black tourmaline. There's different things you can do. Different things you can do to help protect yourself from, spirits, ghosts, shadow people, anything like that. But what do you guys think? What do you think they are? Are they ghosts? Are they demons? Are they interdimensional beings? I often wonder, too, if when you see something like that, whether it's a ghost or a shadow person, a shadow image, creature, cryptoid, whatever it is, are you actually seeing it in our dimension? Or is it a slip, some sort of slip in a dimension where you get a glimpse into another dimension? Or is it their slip where they accidentally pop into our dimension? These kind of things make me go, I don't know. What do you guys think? Shadow people. Well, that about wraps it up. And I wouldn't say that, if you do see them, it's not necessarily something to fear. Because like I say, I've seen plenty of my share of them. And sometimes they do creep me out. But, yeah, it is what it is. It's, I keep going with my every day-to-day life. So, let me know what you guys think. leave me a comment, shoot me an email. You can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on Facebook. You can go to my website. I have a WordPress website under Old City Podcast. And shoot me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about shadow people. There you go. There you have it. We will catch you next time for another episode of the Old City Podcast.
Talk about a meditation.